Hey guys, so today is February 27th and it's a really nice day out here. It's like, I don't know, 70, 75, a little bit cloudy, just really nice weather. I love this time of year. It's really nice. The mosquitoes aren't out yet, and I think the fish are really starting to sense that spring is coming and become more active, and they're biting. So I'm at a spot that I've been to many times. I'm just a little bit farther downstream than I've ever been. And as you can see, the bayou is running pretty low, and this stretch here has a ton of snags, structure. So it looks like it's gonna be really challenging, but my thinking is that, you know, these down trees and these rock outcroppings and stuff make for, you know, really good spots for catfish and maybe gar. I actually came out here with the intention of trying to catch an alligator gar more than anything else. But now that I'm looking at this, it just looks like, you know, really good catfish habitat. So we'll see. I've got a big carp that I caught the other day, which a YouTuber named Fishaholic correctly pointed out was full of eggs. So I feel like kind of an ass about that. I would have preferred, you know, just to get a male or something instead of a pregnant female, but nothing I can do about that now. So I'm just gonna try to make the most out of that bait. And yeah, I mean, we'll just see what we can do here today. You just never know how it's gonna go. So we'll see. But yeah, it looks like an interesting place. Challenging, but interesting. I just wish the water was a little bit higher, but we'll see. There's fish in here, so it's just my job to try to catch them. Well, the water level here is about as low as I have ever seen it. And there's like no current whatsoever, which is very unusual for this spot. So, you know, that's good and bad. It makes it easy to fish, but it seems like the fish are really become active and start feeding, you know, after a rain when the water's up and everything like that. So, I don't know. It's probably going to be alligator gar mostly taking my bait today. So what I did was I put on a pretty small circle hook, if you can see that, and just a little chunk of common carp. And I don't have any weight, I don't have any float. I'm just going to toss this out here in this pool here, and if something takes it, I'm gonna just let it chew on it for a while, let it run, not try to set the hook right away. So let's see. It's really bad with snags in there. That's the only problem. So, you know, considering there's no current, I could definitely go with a float. In fact, maybe I will put a float on here. Let's do that. I'm gonna try a float. All right, so the nice thing about using the float is that I can just leave the bail open, and you know, just by watching the float I can see if there's something on there. And that's good for alligator gar because, you know, when they feel the resistance from the drag, a lot of times they'll just drop the bait. So if I can leave the bail open and let him, you know, run all over the place with it and get comfortable, that will up my chances, I think. So this one I've got rigged up more with catfish in mind. I've got a 1 ounce weight. There's a little bit bigger, thicker of a circle hook on here. And there's a down tree right in the middle of the bayou there, which is risky, but it looks like a really good place, you know, for catfish to hang out next to. So I'm gonna fish this one off the bottom near there, and hopefully if I do get something, he doesn't wrap me up in the tree when he's taking off with it. We'll see. Seeing a few fish breaking the surface. I know there's some really big fish in this pool. The one and only flathead catfish I ever caught was here, and that was a big one. And I've caught a couple big blue catfish out of this pool. And the biggest alligator gar by far that I've ever seen was right out there. I saw this thing come up to the surface and it looked like a canoe. It was freaking huge. So that's really exciting, just knowing that, you know, there's monster fish right out there. Well, I'm definitely seeing some fish surfacing out there. Oh. Something's on here. So I got the bail open, assuming that it's an alligator gar. This is the line, of course, that I had rigged up for a catfish. Well, it was a catfish after all. Just a little blue cat. Really pretty fish. Really pretty. These guys are so pretty. They've got like a, you know, purplish blue tint to them. So he's got the line all twisted up on one of his pectoral fins there. So I'm just gonna cut this so I can free him quickly and get him back in the water. But yay, catfish. There we go. That was a pretty big piece of bait this guy took. All right, that was fun, but I need to re-rig now. I had to cut all the gear off of that so I could get him freed. So the water's moving so slow here today that I really don't even need a weight. So I just tied that same hook back onto that line with no weight, put another piece of carp on, and just tossed it over by that down tree. So we'll see. Still watching that float over there. I'm kind of surprised that alligator gar hasn't taken it yet. All right, here we go again. Not sure. This one feels more like a gator gar. See this? Look at that. The line's just flying off the reel. So I've got this really long, thin strip of carp on there. And like, you know, the way these alligator gar will hold the food, you know, they'll just sort of have it sideways in their mouth, and, you know, part of the bait's hanging off the mouth either side. So, you know, there's a really good chance that the hook's not even in his mouth right now. So hopefully he won't leave this pool. And, you know, there's no weight or float or anything, and I got the bail open. So if it's an alligator gar, he should be really comfortable with this. So I'm going to let him just take as much line as he wants until I run out here. I'm gonna let him chew on this and play with this and hopefully get it down into the back of his mouth, past the you know, bony snout part where it's a little softer, and then I'm gonna try to set the hook. So usually I screw this up because you know, I get really excited and I try to set the hook too fast. But if you watch people's videos who fish for alligator gar, you know, they'll let them, you know, run around with the bait for like 5 minutes sometimes. You know, I just don't want them to swallow the hook, that's all. So Damn, if I catch a big alligator gar, it'll be the one time I don't have my rope to use as a noose to pull him in. So that would just be my luck. All right, so I'm running out of line on the bail here, so I'm actually gonna follow this guy down the shoreline to give myself a little more room to play with. Well, that was exciting, but it's another blue catfish. I thought for sure that was an alligator gar by the way he was behaving. So, put up a good fight. Still not a very big one, but nice fish. Actually, this has blue spots, or I mean black spots on it. Does that make, no, I don't think this is a channel. This is a channel, it's the biggest channel cat I've ever caught. But thankfully I got him right in the lip. I mean, I was really lucky. With the way I let him take it, he easily could have swallowed the hook. So, but he's lip hooked right here. So, get a photo and get him back in the water. Okay. Well, it's going better than I thought here today. No monsters and no alligator gar like I was trying for, but geez, somehow the bait keeps getting just really tangled up. But two blue catfish, you know, just in like 30 minutes of being here is really good. So I'm loving it. It's a beautiful day out here and life is good. Well, it's shaping up to be a really nice day so far. I think part of that is the time of year and the weather. You know, the water's cool here, but nice. It's warm enough so that the fish are active. And also that carp. It just makes for such good bait. You know, one big carp will last you all day, and the fish seem to love it. You know, the blue catfish and the gar, they just seem to really, really like it. And it's got really thick skin, which means that it stays on the hook very well, even when they're tugging on it. You know, it's just, it's really good bait. I like it. Well, since I'm already happy with the two blue catfish I caught, and I came here to explore a little bit and even take some risks, I'm gonna go just a little bit downstream and try fishing in between some of these dead trees and other structures out there. So I don't know, the only problem I think is that it looks a little bit shallow to me, and of course it's gonna be tricky, you know, if I do get something, trying to maneuver it into shore around all that structure. But let's see, I'm gonna try down there for a little bit, and then on the way out I'm gonna try right over there, which is where I usually fish from, and then we'll call it a day. Looks like we got something else. Whoa! All right, let's see. This one could be an alligator gar, but I thought the last one was too, and it was a catfish, but it's taking a lot of line. Oh man, it's another blue, even bigger. Oh man, that fish about broke my wrist. Holy crap. This one's even bigger than the last. Oh man, what a beauty. Man, that thing about broke my wrist. Man, that was a fight. I think it got snagged up on something down there too. That was a hell of a fight. Look what a beautiful fish this is. That's amazing. So pretty. All right, I'm gonna get a quick pick and then get her back in the water right away. Woo. All right. Well, I've definitely never caught 3 blue catfish in one day before. I think I've only been out here for like an hour, so this is awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna just try a little bit down the way here. I'd really like to get an alligator gar. I'm being greedy. And then just try kind of right over there, which is where I usually fish. I usually just kind of stand over there by the bridge. Try that on my way out, and then I guess we'll just call it good. Okay, so I'm gonna try over here. This is kind of a rarity. You don't see a lot of rocks in Houston. You gotta get down pretty deep to find stone like this. So, you know, the bayou has eroded down quite a ways, and now we got some bedrock. So I'm gonna try just right out there. I don't know how deep it is. I don't know if it's 6 inches or 6 feet, but it looks like a decent place because, you know, you got all this structure here, which I would love to try to fish, but I know I'll get tangled up there. So my hope is that, you know, there's a gar or catfish just kind of chilling right out there. So this little stretch here is definitely not what I hoped it would be, but if you look all the way down to where it rounds the bend there, it looks really good down there. I'm too lazy to hike all the way down there with all my gear today, but next time I think I'm gonna try all the way down. Alrighty. Well, I just moved upstream about 50 yards or so. This is usually where I fish, right here and just a little bit farther upstream. So we'll see. I got one on a float still, hoping for an alligator gar, and then put a 1 ounce sinker on another piece and tossed it like 3/4 of the way out to where there's a little bit deeper of a channel and more current. So we'll see. I've got plenty of blue caps for the day, so I'm hoping for an alligator gar. No, it's okay. I just want to make sure you don't get that. Oh, you're all right. You're good. So usually when the bayou is low and slow like this, I have a really hard time catching anything, especially catfish. Seems like, you know, I get more alligator gar bites in conditions like this. And so I came out here today, you know, purposely to try for alligator gar. That was my main focus. Of course, the catfish is always a bonus, right? But I'm not sure if I've had any alligator gar bites today. It's just been catfish. So it just goes to show you I have really no clue what I'm doing. There's also a lot of alligator snapping turtles in this bayou, so whenever I have a piece of fish just sitting in one place on the bottom for too long, I start to get nervous, because they are a royal pain in the ass. Really, really cool animals, but a royal pain in the ass. Okay guys, I'm all packed up and ready to go. I just have this one rod in the water still, and I put my last piece of fresh bait on there. I'm just gonna give it like 5 more minutes, because I just had a couple of more bites, and then we're gonna call it a day. So assuming that nothing else happens, I'll say goodbye now, and thank you guys all very much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you soon. Uh-oh. Freaking knew it. I thought it would be an alligator snapper, but it's a soft shell. These are also a real problem. They've got nasty jaws on them, and they can reach their neck out so far. Damn it. I knew by the way it was behaving that it wasn't a fish. Ah, shit. Shit.